human perspective.
Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this wonderful Tuesday, I think.
Yep.
Tuesday? Yeah.
It's me, so it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
This is the only way I know what day of the week it is.
It is hard to keep up, isn't it? It's like, what the heck?
Yep. It's a blur.
So, how are you feeling?
Awake.
Really? I've been feeling really dreamy, sort of. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I just didn't sleep at all last night. Like, at all. And I'm still, like, I know it's, when we finish the show, I'm sure I'm going to crash, but I was awake all night. Zoe was awake all night. Mom had bad dreams last night, nightmares. I know Travis was awake, I think, most of the night. So that Schumann was really blasting.
Yeah.
I think I could feel it. And I'm giddy today and silly. Yeah. A little loopy.
Yeah, let me actually go to the, let's look at the Schumann really fast here, because if I remember right, it looked like it's pretty much exploding. Let's see here. Look at that.
Yeah.
Whee!
Whee!
And I had a lot of head pressure, you know? I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, my head is like pounding. And then, you know, I always wonder if I'm just getting dehydrated, so I'll drink a lot of water. And
Yep.
But yeah, it's been kind of just coming and going, and now I see why, because it started picking up a little bit ago, and I can see the Schumann started picking up a little bit ago here.
Yeah, we'll probably get a blurb similar to the one we see on the other side. We've really been getting blasted this month.
Yeah.
Like there's been several. It's been pretty steady, and yeah, noticeable.
So this one here looks like it hit 110.
110.
Yeah.
To 77.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Whee!
Whee!
Whee! Look at your surfboard.
Yeah. So
Whee!
hang on, guys. We are leveling up.
Yeah.
We're getting strummed. That's funny that we were talking about the whole thing, and it really is a lot like that. You know how like you can have one guitar in a room playing, and if the other one's just sitting there with it and it's plugged into the amp, those strings will start vibrating to the dominant frequencies coming from the other guitar without anybody even touching it, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Really good analogy. We had a good giggle before we came on too, sort of just getting a lot of really good visuals about what this energy is doing inside of us and, you know, what it feels like. And it's very similar to like those strings, you know, on the guitar being strummed and getting that vibration, and they're like, whoop, you know,
right.
They're bending out. Yeah. Similar to like this.
Right.
And, you know, and it can, you feel it inside of you, and it can feel like anxiety and get all kinds of different palpitations or movements of energy within. And, and it like warbles inside of you. So you feel like like it's sort of immediate reaction to kind of check yourself of like,
right.
Of like, whoa, what is, like, I feel unbalanced, or, you know, what is that? And so
it's similar to when you have like a piece of sheet metal or some of that really compressed cardboard that they use. Because they would use it as dividers during tests.
Yes.
And, you know, you kind of just prop them up between so you're not looking at your neighbor's paper. But I used to love to grab each side of it and be like, whoa, 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 whoa.
That's what we were having. Hey, we're getting whooped right now. That's what we're saying.
We're getting whooped. That's funny that our group understands this. Anybody that's sort of, I don't know, they're kind of browsing along and they come across this, we're probably pretty crazy sounding right now. But yeah, we're getting strummed, you guys.
Yes, yeah, really. And I see these different stages where we have these activations come in, and we were talking about the solar plexus last week, and really feeling that in the solar plexus where it was doing that. It was like whooping where the muscles are even moving and flexing and having these spasms.
Mm-hmm.
And so how I've been seeing it, and I was saying how I felt like what was coming next then forward for this week was back up to the throat chakra. And it really is like the chords on the guitar, or like that sheet. And so we started at the beginning of the year, with this crown chakra, corona
The corona chakra
activation, right? Came in huge. Like a lot of us are really feeling that in our head, and this twitching and all this stuff going on in our head. Wow, it was really, really strong. And then, so it was like this energy. We got this current inside of us warbling. So it comes in, it grabs the top. Then it came to the root was the next one. And that came in and grabbed that, right? So, but we're getting hit with the energy like this. So now what's happened, I felt like last week it came in to support a little bit higher, right? Up to the solar plexus to stabilize that warble. And then now likewise in an equal balance, right? Because we've skipped over the sacral sort of and went to the solar plexus, where here we've sort of skipped over that third eye and pinching at the throat chakra now to stabilize. Okay, so when that energy hits in, as we're balancing again, I think like we're going to feel that warble compressed at a higher frequency now. Yeah. And located even more so in the chest, which I feel will come with the next month with the solstice. I imagine that boom, we're gonna get that blasted again. It's just stable. It's like restabilizing, and then I imagine it'll go and pinch. Okay, now we're gonna pinch the corners, right? So we can hold it when that frequency comes in. So we're not doing this. Right. And we're aligning it and grounding it. So this is my big scribble paper I put under everything, but it's the best way I could demonstrate. But it was a really cool visual, and it's like this strong current of energy that's coming in and just.
And you know what? That really fits what a lot of people have been experiencing, because I keep hearing people talking about my bed shaking at night. It's like,
yes,
it's like the shaking in my bed, and it's not really shaking. No one else.
You.
Right. It's you. You know?
And it's doing this to us. Right. So these downloads and these other they come in, and a lot of things need to happen. When with purging and clearing these centers, like with the solar plexus, to really build the strength of will and composure, within yourself, to carry your wisdom and your truth and your sovereignty, and to help build that backbone, to speak the truth. But when these things these energies come in to purge these areas, we do see what appears to be like negative effects, and a lot of, and what we can experience ourselves is feeling like the shadow parts of ourselves coming up, maybe the stuff when we behave or act in ways that we don't want to, and it's kind of like suppressed stuff, and it just comes out. And so we may experience a lot of people's emotions. We think we've seen it, but I think we're going to see it a lot more. People really those emotional expressions coming out vocally.
Yeah.
So just having patience with it, just kind of realizing, when you realize like that's just what's going on, like this is getting fleshed out. So even when it happens with you, and you notice these times of like holding back what you're saying. And we should sometimes, whatever your own individual process is, there's going to be contemplation with that and what you're saying and how you're saying it. And you may experience yourself saying things that you don't want to, but don't let yourself feel bad. It's just part of this purging process as well. And maybe you think you'll say something not in a good way, but you're actually better than that, and you can do a better job than you think, and you end up having an experience where, you know, you may have been normally afraid to have a confrontation and be put in that position, and it sort of has visualized a course that leads into sort of altercation. And so these situations are going to come up in order to give us the opportunity to see that we can walk through these situations and circumstances, and use that divine speech. So,
you know, it's really a good time too. This is really good practice, you guys. I mean, this is a time when you've got all of this chaos going on, right? You're like, do I take part in this? Do I take part in this? Do I just, you know, send energy in? And I find that the best sort of discernment tool with this is, are you doing it out of love, or are you doing it out of a response out of fear or anger? So that's like, you know, are you motivated to do something because you're scared, or is it out of love? And I think that's like a great little test to run on yourself. Are you know what I mean? Are you responding in fear, or are you responding in love? Because there's so much going on right now, you know, and it's so easy to get pulled into the wrong stuff, you know?
Yeah. And I just think we're going to witness a lot of people just experiencing that process.
Yeah.
And and it helps put a lot of patience in. So then likewise, you don't need to say all the time, maybe yourself.
Right.
You could kind of take a step back, and we don't have to intervene all the time with our opinions, and just allow somebody to vent and not get emotionally invested ourselves. So even that practice, so these just different situations and contemplations and things are going to come up about what other people say and what you say or don't say or choose to say, or all these different thought processes about that and how we speak to each other.
Yeah, I think it's hard to let things go sometimes, though, for people. When you realize that you're not the only person that's ever going to bring the light of truth to someone. So don't worry about it. You know what I mean? They have their own higher team that's trying to wake them up, you know, and you might not have any part of that process. So it's okay, you know?
Yeah, or you may never know in this plane how you do have a role in their process. That's perfect the way it is. And it's just not something that you ever know about.
Yeah. It might be completely energetic that you don't even see happening.
Everybody's running their own script, so
let them be.
Who am I to say that their story should be my story?
Plus, we don't want to add to the stress people are already feeling right now as they're discovering things and waking up. You don't want to stress people out even more. You want to just sort of give them a calm person to talk to.
Just a calm presence. And but everybody is going to have their own way to exhibit, move, and process and expel their energy in whatever manner. So, even if they choose not to be calm, Shane, if they choose not to be, I'm not judging that, because that maybe that's their story. That's their role that they're playing.
That's very true.
Let them play it. They're a catalyst in their own way. We all have different ways our energy is contributing to this process and this evolution. Oil and vinegar and water, and they're all mixing together, and throw in some spices, and it may look like a mess, but you have a great salad dressing. And, you don't know,
But having that higher perspective, realizing that we're all on a team, kind of helps you let go of some of the other things, well, that's the picketing team, you don't have to, you can let that go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or whatever part of it that you're not part of, because you can't be a part of every single part of the body. I mean, it is like a body of light workers, if you will. Those who realize it, whether they realize it or not, they're working for Team Light, basically. Trying to move the world into a better, higher, human consciousness, form of human consciousness, evolved. So we're all working towards that, and whether we know it or not, we don't have to do every single job. There's certain departments.
Yeah. Well, I think to see that everybody, just the fact that everybody is asking more questions is what we should really be happy about right now. Don't worry about what questions they're asking, because one thing I've really learned about this process is everything leads back under the same umbrella. And whether you realize that in the beginning or not doesn't really matter. And whether the questions seem, just the fact that they're asking more questions about their life, maybe how they live it, or how they perceive others, or what's really going on. They're just asking questions in general, maybe that they'd never asked before. So that alone is massive, that people have been shaken out of that 24/7 schedule of what they do in their life and why they do it.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's like the main thing. That's really the main thing everyone in our community always wonders. It's like, how does everybody not wonder about this stuff? And now everybody's starting to wonder. Everybody's starting to now, and you're like, oh, okay, finally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get too busy, though. You get stuck in the
hamster on the wheel isn't stopping to ask why he's running. He just keeps running.
All right. And most people don't want any trouble,
Till the wheel breaks.
I don't want to look at that. They might, abduct me or something for looking
just keep
at
running.
anything.
Just keep running.
Right.
Just keep running.
But there's safety in numbers.
Yeah.
And there's so many people right now, so many people are waking up and investigating stuff, so people can feel pretty confident about looking into whatever you want on the internet,
Mm-hmm. And maybe they're not investigating politics and disease and vaccines and all those. Maybe they're just asking questions about their day-to-day life and why they do what they do in personal ways.
Yeah.
It's not even all political. That's why it's just such a huge spectrum right now of, and that people are asking themselves these kinds of questions in such a spectrum. Yeah. And we don't hear them all because we're all separated in their little houses. But I think we do see a reflection of some of those things with all the opinions that are coming out.
Yeah.
All the opinions is just a reflection of all the questions. So.
Yeah. So the whole throat thing. Did you ever go into the dream?
No. Well, I just thought it was interesting. Like, Mom having a nightmare last night, and then it dawned on me because I was telling you that I wanted to talk about the throat chakra again. Mm-hmm. And then I realized, well, she was telling me that she had this nightmare that she was trying to scream and, no noise was coming out, like her throat was paralyzed. Like she couldn't scream. And then, but she ended up waking herself up and actually hearing herself sort of yelling out as she's waking up. And, I was thinking at first in telling you, well, Mom had a nightmare and, my not sleeping last night because the Schumann. But then I realized, it's connected to this throat chakra. Here we are. I think that's a perfect example of one way you may experience the throat chakra activation going on right now. Here, with the Schumann energy coming in and it bringing up that, your voice trying to scream out, your voice being paralyzed. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And how we demonstrate that, or how we process that energy, that fear of our voice being suppressed, or whatever it is that our throat chakra needs to clear. But I thought that was a perfect example.
That's interesting you said that, because one of the things Eileen and I were trying to do this last time is for the people who can step up and be a whistleblower, or, sort of reveal anything going on, that they would have feel encouraged and feel brave enough to do that, and to, take the wisest path to,
That's it.
to
So
follow.
I would suggest the next few weeks will probably be like a highlight of whistleblowers. I would think that would be something that
Right, because now the energy is like,
yeah, like there's Project Veritas. I bet you they have a bunch of new people. Like there'll be stuff like that'll be come out, whistleblowers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the energy is like, it's almost like going with the wind, instead of against it. And right now it's like, it's conducive
and you see more
to
speaking out, protesting.
Yeah.
People protesting, you're going to see more of that. People like literally with bullhorns.
Yeah.
Shouting their truth. Yeah.
It's interesting how it's all connected and you can see things reflecting back with the energies of what's going on.
I'm just curious what's going to happen with like, I just saw when we were talking about it and I was, getting it as like these visual downloads and these pictures just had me laughing. But when we got to the solstice in the heart chakra, and I just started laughing because it was like, fireworks. That's the word, fireworks. The 4th of July, like, woof, like it just like an explosion. I just saw
that's
an
interesting.
Explosion of energy.
I never realized that how the 4th of July is right after the solstice. So that means so we got we're almost exactly, I think, a month and a day away from the solstice. I think it's on the 20th of June. So we're a month away from the solstice. This is all seeming to ramp up and move into the heart chakra, I guess.
Yeah, I see. Like I could really see that. Like that would really be reflected in that week from like the solstice.
That's funny because you're like saying fireworks, right? They're supposed to be.
It'll be like fireworks.
It's the solstice, so you got this energetic shift, right? With just the sun and the earth and all that. But you also got like 3 comets coming in. I think there are like 6 comets now.
That's why I started laughing.
We got like 3 comets coming in, and we're starting the Mandela Effect conference that weekend. So we are just poised for some excitement this year, you guys.
It's like a rocket launch, right? So yeah, so I was seeing it like that horrible, and it's like, the countdown of this compression that we've had of 3, 2, 1 of like
it's almost like squeezing a toothpaste tube, and it's all just gonna blast out the heart.
Exactly.
Right?
It's just gonna go boom.
Blast out the heart and shift everything. Yeah.
Exactly. Rainbows.
And then right after that is the 4th of July. So.
Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of energy.
Yeah. So symptom-wise, like I said earlier, I've been like a little dreamy, a little out of it, But I'm okay with that. Just taking the time to meditate and daydream. And I've had the nostalgia thing. Not a lot of memories with it, but I did have one memory connected with the nostalgic feeling that we've been talking about, and it was. Yeah. I was looking at the sky and the green trees and just the beautiful green and blue took me back to having one of those light brights as a kid with those little pins, pegs, colored pegs, and seeing the green and the blue next to each other. And it gave me such this, I don't know, it was like the first time I saw those colors together in such a way, and they made such an impression on me. And it like I was able to trigger that memory just by looking at the sky in like sort of a admiring way or whatever.
Yeah.
Because, we don't normally do that. We lose that, and I'm saying you see flowers, and then you're like, I've seen flowers a billion times. Why am I going to appreciate the flowers anymore? But it's like getting back to that point where you look at the little baby going by in the stroller, and you know what I mean? And you just find the beauty in everything again.
Yeah. Spring really helps with that for me. Like I was even saying to Mom, like I had an experience like you're talking about where it was just after a rain and everything's just it's like that super green right now. Yeah. And so fresh, and the way the birds come out and the smell in the air, and just looking at my window in my room, and I was like instantly back to, our house when I was a kid, looking out my window into the backyard, and this time of year is just my favorite. Everything is so fresh and bursting with life. Yeah. And the birds and the sky's like dark over here, but you have that fresh green come in, and it just put me right back in that spot. and you just want to inhale life.
Yeah.
You just want to inhale it. And I've been really doing that more, trying to breathe in those moments, make my space around me and my environment bring that sort of inspired response again. So I've been like looking for ways to make my room, my space feel like that, like when I was a kid again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think people having a little bit more time on their hands, they're just more likely to get out and take a walk and appreciate nature and just have a greater love for everything, because they're not so busy. They don't have to rush off to work. And I know everybody's not off, but it's at least a tap on the shoulder for everyone. You know what I mean? I know for some people it hasn't affected them like other people, but it is. It's like a tap on the shoulder for everybody. And that's a good thing because it just grabs your attention, at least for a moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and this time of year really beckons people back outdoors too now. So that's why that people are going to get really vocal about being stuck inside now at any point. It's like, get out of my way. The birds are calling, nature's calling, the water's calling. This, what's the point of living if you can't live?
Right.
And that's where it's full of life right now.
Yeah.
The cities aren't full of life. You really have to, get out in nature, and you just breathe all that in and breathe in the sun and see everything growing and all the new babies being born, whether it's baby birds or baby bunnies or whatever it is. All this life's, waking up around us right now. So everybody wants to join in. And I think you're going to see that. And people really lighting up with getting to experience it again with more appreciation.
Right.
That's
why I felt like since this whole thing with it happening all this happening during the equinox, and people generally waking up more during that time, and then just this feeling of newness that people are. It's like everything's like coming together perfectly to bring about something new. You can feel it in the air. And sure, there's some people that are staying home and they're scared to leave, and I get that, but. Anywhere people are allowed, there are people there. I mean, the parks, anywhere that, people are getting out. People are taking their boat out, taking their family out on a little mini vacation.
Need fresh air.
While other people are staying at home and they might feel like everyone else is staying at home. No, they're actually, anywhere you go, there's people out and about. So.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Some people are fearful, others are just making the best of it.
Each his own. Yeah. To each his own. Yeah. That's it. I think just encouraging, no matter what side of the fence you're on, or no matter what you think, you just, you can do you. and if we all can just approach it that way and not, have to get into an argument about it and enforce our belief system on others. And even when they are trying to enforce their belief system on others, even telling them not to be that way, like, you know what, you're going to be that way. Okay, cool. Keep walking. Just keep walking. Keep smelling the flowers. Keep strolling. Because we're all going to have that right now. Sort of that throw over the shoulder, maybe feel like the rocks are launched your way by someone who maybe sees you, maybe if you're not wearing a mask, or maybe whatever, opposing opinions, like, whatever it is, they're going to react and throw something your way. So just keep strolling. That's okay, cool. You can do you. You do you, boo. Cool. Have fun with that.
So the thing that I think is funny is like, for many of us, it irks us to go out and see, like, you got to go down this aisle and you got to come up this aisle and you got to, and they've got all these rules and. And I get it. I get it. A lot of people in the community I talk to are like, I don't pay attention to those things. I'm like, just relax and play by the rules.
I didn't pay attention either. I had that experience in the grocery store. So last week when I went in, and I wasn't paying attention. I didn't know. Mom went last time. We only go shopping like we only have to go like once a month, and we we shop differently, so we don't have to do we do like Walmart once a month. So
Right.
she went last time, I went this time, so I didn't even know. I wasn't looking down. I was looking for what I needed. But this woman stops, right at the beginning, like, and waits till I get there, and just like a deer in the headlights,
Right.
won't move. So, well, yeah, just gotta. Cool. Okay,
So
cool.
I guess they have like a capacity. Now they have to really pay attention to how many people are in the store because it can only have so many. I think it's half or a quarter of whatever the capacity is or something like that to have plenty of space, you know. But interesting enough, I wanted to share this for anybody who's wondering. We went out to eat on the weekend. We went to a restaurant called Golden Corral. It's a buffet. You typically just go and grab what you want, you know. Well, of course, that's not going to work anymore, right? So, so I want
that's
to
what they've done business for years,
right? So I want to explain how it works now because I thought it was interesting how it's already kind of converted into more of a cafeteria. So now it's like you go up to the buffet, right? And you're assigned a person on the other side. And that person just walks along, and you're like, just kind of tell them what you want, and go all the way around until you get to the end. And now the desserts, instead of you sort of dishing out a scoop, they've already got a prepared scoop in a bowl that you can have them add ice cream to it if you want. So they just do everything, and then you don't touch the plate until you're grabbing it to go to your thing. So I thought it was pretty cool the way they did that. They've taken all of the napkin dispenser off the table. That way people aren't all using it all day long. Every time a new customer comes up, they take the salt, pepper, and ketchup, and bring out some new sanitized ones. They clean them after every. So it's pretty weird to watch it all, like how they do it all. You know what I mean? So, entertaining.
Sounds exhausting. Years of working in the restaurant business, I think I would lose my marbles if I had to work within the constraints, or wear a mask. No, I think that's it. I'm glad I retired a couple of years ago when I did that. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not living my life. I'm not playing by the rules anymore. I'll figure it out on my own. Thanks.
Yeah. Now with the tables, they did a checkered pattern. So like if there was 3 booths along this side, 3 tables in the middle, and 3 more booths over here, every other one was taken out and made out of order. So it was kind of a checkered pattern of, like the middle booths and then like...
Yeah. Restaurants can't maintain that though. Like that's, it's a temporary thing, but that's not something that they can maintain on any long-term basis whatsoever.
But the thing is,
they can't sustain it.
You're like walking right by people's table as you're going to yours. So, I mean, you're not really, I mean...
Yeah.
Maintaining
but like every
6 feet.
seat counts in a restaurant.
Yeah.
And every penny, like in order to make any kind of profit in a restaurant.
Yeah.
The way that these changes, especially as far as capacity and things go, the restaurant's designed to sustain itself based on the capacity of those seats. Exactly. So it can't do that on any length of time. So restaurants are going to be, a lot of them closing down. I've seen several in places that I've lived, been there for years. Restaurants that have been in the community for years, shutting down long term, like in Toronto and in Hamilton and Burlington and stuff. Places I've lived, I've seen articles in all those places on shutdowns. So, yeah, I did see a really funny video though about the training for the reopening with social distancing, and you had the waitresses and the lines on the floor 6 feet away, and she's got the drinks on a tray, and she just takes the drinks and launches them at the table and then just goes smash, and she takes the next one, launches it at the table, smash.
Oh my god.
Cool. Yeah, enough of that. Well, whatever. I've seen lots of interesting ideas. These people are getting creative.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you see things that you're like, oh, that's a good idea, and then you see other things you're like, you realize you just defeated the whole purpose of wearing the gloves or the mask or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. Just sit back and enjoy the show.
Yep. Yep. I'll just go play. I'll just go play pretend somewhere with something.
Is it a pretty day there? I think I'm going to get out in nature.
It is. The sun's starting to come out. Everything's green. The flowers are starting to bloom, and it's my favorite time of year. So love it. Love the fresh air coming in the windows. Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're wanting
all our little seeds we've been planting for our garden are starting to grow. Getting little. Mom's been planting. I got to do my herbs still, but she checks them every day. She's pretty excited about that.
Don't worry, Dave. He's saying that they're wanting to give everybody shots in the UK. They're wanting to give everybody shots everywhere. I wouldn't worry about it, though.
They want to do a lot of things. Yeah.
I think they're pushing so hard with this stuff. Did you see the one clip of somebody like bringing it up? Gosh, what country was that? Italy or something? Bringing up that they wanted to bring up Bill Gates on charges. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
You go, girl. You go, girl. That's all I have to say
awesome.
about that.
I was like, wow, it's getting out, you know? Even
right.
if people hear that and they're like, what? And I don't know who was griping. I'm like, arrest whoever that is that's yelling at her right now. They're deep state, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There was people clapping for her.
Right, but there were some people that were like getting loud, you know, like trying to, and he made them be quiet and let her finish.
Yeah,
or whatever.
let her speak.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Another good example.
Yeah, and it's going viral. Right?
Yeah. And people are going to want to do the same thing. It's just we still have varied opinions. That's the only thing. But we have to learn how. We all have to learn how to listen to somebody else's truth without getting upset.
Yeah.
We do on both sides. And so we are going to be presented with the opportunity to learn that, to learn how to do that, no matter what perspective that you're on. We're all going to have an opportunity to have a quiz, pop quiz. Yeah. Because we have to be okay with it. We're all going to have different opinions, and we have to start learning how to not emotionally react and imbalance ourselves and get all because of somebody else's opinion. And that's not always easy by any means. I'm not saying it is, especially when they're vocal, they're rude, they're this or that. But whatever way we need to manage it, we're going to be put in a situation, many of us. I think, yeah.
Exciting times, though.
It is. It is. Well, it's a good opportunity to just breathe, and it's your choice, always your choice to speak or not speak.
Yeah.
And you can exercise that right either way.
Yeah. But I say, really, like I was saying earlier, it's like, are you going to operate from the heart or the head, right?
Yeah.
And things are going to go so much better if you're operating from the heart, because you're in the vortex. You're in the energy of that infinite, intelligent, divine energy. You've got that force behind you. It's like, not my will, but thy will be done energy. You know what I mean?
I think that's it. And you know what? I think really taking a moment for any response, a lot of times, is just to try to breathe through the heart. It's certainly something I always work on, because I'm a talker. You guys know I'm a talker. Cut people off. I, have all those bad habits. And it's something that speaking my mind, I get myself in a lot of trouble for speaking my mind. So I'm always trying to fine tune and balance that. How do I maintain speaking my truth and without stepping on other people? All of these different things. So it's always a work in process. And so don't think anything I'm saying is could very much be applied to myself, and I apply it to myself. Right? Right? These are lessons that I'm learning. So, but hopefully we're all kind of if I'm experiencing it, then, some of you may be experiencing that too, and see the reflections of that. So,
and the anxiety the intensity right now can get pretty intense. And if you're sort of in one place, it can feel like you're about to have a panic attack. In another place, it can feel like, you're going down the roller coaster and it's woohoo time. You know what I mean? Like we were saying earlier with the Schumann. So really it's, I don't know, taking that moment to take that breath, like I always talk about, is really powerful, because you can like ground in that moment, recenter yourself, and it doesn't, it just takes a few seconds. So.
Yeah, I'm just always stopping to sort of check in, and am I just aware of currently how I'm feeling and why I'm feeling that way? And just kind of constantly checking in, because our mind can go off, or we get busy or distracted. We actually will be, carrying this energy, or maybe you could be carrying resentment or fear, or just that anxiety, or just the energy, and, not even a personal thing. Like, and we don't really, if we're busy or distracted mentally, or outside of ourselves, and we're not experiencing ourselves in that moment. So I just kind of constantly keep coming back to experience myself in that moment, instead of always experiencing everything outside of me.
Yeah.
And just bring, what am I experiencing within me right now, and why am I feeling that way? And sometimes it's a quick check-in. It doesn't take much, or sometimes it takes a little bit more digging, right? So, but it's just building that practice, so you don't always have to get to the point where, like, whoa, like, what is going on, before you ask that question. So, like, even when it's initially coming in, and that energy is coming in, it's much quicker that you can sort of feel it and become aware, and be experiencing yourself. And then it allows you to actually process and move it through you a lot easier. Because then okay, this requires my energy and attention right now to move this through me and process it. So that's what I'm going to focus my experience on right now. And then when it's done, it's done. And then you can go move on to the next thing that you want to experience right now.
Yeah.
Right? So, because we can plan, and we can say, well, I think I want to do that tomorrow. But then you get to tomorrow, and maybe you don't feel like it.
Right.
What do you feel like right now? What do you feel like doing right now? Never mind what you did yesterday, or what you think you should do tomorrow, or... Yeah.
That's what I was thinking with the whole get back in the heart thing, because you can change at any moment. It might shift, and maybe there's someone that comes across your mind, and you should give them a call, and you didn't plan on that.
Yeah.
You might end up talking to them for 2 hours,
That's another good one. I think that's another good throat chakra. Talking to people you haven't spoken to in a long time, or maybe with some kind of unresolved issue or whatever. It's something that was said that never got said, maybe that needs to be said. Might be opportunities for that as well. Right. That's another good example, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was even my sister and I sent her something to do a song with it. Did I tell that story last week? That awesome synchronicity?
Yeah, well, because I played you was it about Endless Love?
Yeah, did we talk about that on the show, or did we forget?
I don't know if we talked about it on the show, or if we talked about it.
Okay, so I gotta share it real quick, because this was so cool, you guys. So last Tuesday, I was up in the morning watching the sunrise, and I had on like an old 80s station or something, and it played that song, Lionel Richie's Endless Love, Diana Ross and Lionel Richie, I believe it is, Endless Love, and I'm like listening to it and stuff. And I realized me and my sister used to sing that when we were kids, like do the duet, So after hearing it, I was inspired to text my sister, and I'm like, hey, after all these years, we should like do a karaoke thing. Like, you can record it at your house. Do you have a mic? And she's like, yeah, I do have a mic. I don't know if I can still hit the notes though. And I'm like, haha, well, if you can find one, let's do it or whatever. And then later in the day, I get on with you, Michelle, and Michelle's been learning Endless Love.
Like, all week I was practicing
all week to play it for me and stuff.
And I was just like, I knew in my head, I was like, he's going to like this one. Like, he's going to like this one. Yeah, like he's going to really like this one.
And it's so funny that, growing up, people would say I looked like Lionel Richie, like way back then,
Oh, really?
When I was a kid, I thought that was funny.
Wow. Yeah, I enjoyed playing that. That was... I couldn't believe it.
Dancing on the ceiling, but no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I think singing is another good thing. Because I've been really like, in even the video I sent you today is like the vocals. I was just like all enthralled with the vocals. Yeah. And I'm like, drawing to the singing again, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us may feel like singing. I encourage you to sing.
Absolutely.
Singing with other people, singing along to music.
Now is really good time because
really good time to do that.
many people don't know, you can just look up, like, put karaoke with any old songs you like, and you can find them right on YouTube, and you can, practice,
Yep.
Sing along with it. Take your phone in the bathroom and do it in the shower where the echo sounds makes you sound better.
just I'm seeing like the process of it, of just like, again, with that solar plexus, energy, and just letting that out, like just belting that out and being happy and just being in that moment with yourself of experiencing the joy of singing.
Yeah.
Really good stuff to do right now.
It doesn't matter what you sound like.
No. Do it in the shower. You'll sound great.
Right.
You'll sound awesome. Promise.
That's what I love about the bathroom. That nice echo. That natural echo.
Great.
Yeah, we had a basement that was like that. That was really big, and it was real echoey. It was always fun to do stuff down there. All right. Well, shoot. Let's get out and enjoy some sun today.
Yeah. Huh? I think so. The sun's coming out. I'm still awake.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna get out and meditate. And, I mean, now we're moving into, the energies of the month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The new moon energies. So, yeah, I don't know exactly what day, but I love that renewing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe we'll talk about that for next week then, for the new moon.
Yeah.
And those energies.
So I expect
see what this week brings.
Yeah, I expect a shift in the energies one way or the other, and we'll see how it goes. Let's push it to the positive, you guys.
Yeah, watch for those whistleblowers.
Right.
Yeah.
And keep them in mind during your meditation, that, that how proud, that feeling
truth.
of being proud and speaking your truth and being brave about it, and the connections being made with the right people that's going to help you get your message out, not the boss that's going to stick you in a drawer somewhere, and you know what I mean? So there's a good way, and you'll just feel that optimal way of doing it, and and then feel that for them. And it's a good thing to ponder, Manifest in time, you guys. Lots of love, light, and unity. Thank you so much, Michelle, for being here with me every week. Love you too. Love you guys.
Yep. Up to all of you. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.
Be sure to check out the website at uotf.net. There you will find the live stream schedule displayed in your local time right there on the front page. Below that, you'll find links to take the Beyond Quantum Healing course at a discounted rate, purchase our book, Mandela Effect, Friend or Foe, in paperback or ebook, or to contact me to schedule a BQH session. At the top of the site, you'll find links to help support the work I do, access the free private forum where you can discuss organizing get-togethers in your area, Mandela effects, and more. Thank you all so much for being here.